Alright, so we're recording right now. So pretty much, Christine Jackson, I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your job and pretty much the APR of what's going on at the past history of the APR of the history here at University of Louisville. First off, about you, what are your main responsibilities?
I work with all the incoming transfer student athletes and freshman football players.
Okay. What is your history here at University of Louisville?
I first started 2002 and worked with women's basketball, field hockey, women's golf, and a variety of other teams until 2009. And I left the university briefly and came back and got hired to work with football in December of 2009 and been with the football program since.
What management skills are essential to your position?
I just manage interns as they volunteer, and then just a support to the assistant athletic director who works with football, and the rest of the staff includes 2 counselors, a learning specialist, and 1 or 2 GAs depending on the year.
Okay. Tell me, what organizational policies have you personally helped create for the success of student athletes?
I don't think I have done any.
But what do you feel are most important then of what's here and what you advocate for?
Organizational policy.
Or any policy. I don't know.
I don't have an answer.
Okay. Okay, what are your goals and missions for this department and what you want for the student athletes?
I try to make sure that all of the guys are eligible. That's always a good goal, that they all have above a 2.0 cum GPA, and then that they're progressing towards graduation and ultimately graduate. And then every semester with the freshmen, we set a GPA requirement or a goal that we want to accomplish. We usually set it at 3.0. We don't always reach it, but that's our goal that we have.
Okay. All right. So take me back to the beginning. What was the department like when you first started here?
When I first started, I was actually hired as a consultant, and there was a newly hired assistant athletic director for football, 1 counselor, and 1 GA, I think, at that time. And then when Coach Strong came, the staff grew to what we spoke about earlier. So that's what the department looked like. It was very skeletal. I was hired just to kind of clean up from the old staff and help the new football coach and the new football academic person get on the same page. And then again, like I said, by May of 2010, I was hired as a full-time person, and that was included in the staff changes to what we went from to now.
Okay. So you said clean up. So what do you mean clean up? What was going on?
Well, at that time, just the person who was in charge left and got a job at another institution. So there was files that needed to be updated, just making sure that what the guys were taking were still a good thing. So it wasn't necessarily clean up like there was something wrong, just clean up as far as getting everything all run smoothly and up to par for the new person coming in, because Justin wouldn't have known how to do pink folders at that time, wouldn't know what classes to put kids in for registration and those kind of things. So kind of cleaning up, getting everyone on I guess a fresh start. Everyone knows what's going on for everything. So
So you said all right, so in 2007, the 2007-2008 football senior year APR was a 918. Knowing that you must then meet 925 or there would soon be penalties, what was going on in the department for this APR?
At that time, I wouldn't know. I wasn't here, even though I was here. I wasn't with football in 2007, 2008, so I couldn't speak on what was going, who knew what, or how to raise it, or anything like that.
So as a department, what was going on as far as knowing this? Because obviously with football being such a big revenue sport and this could blow up, as a department, what was the motive motive or the talk going on?
I don't know. Couldn't even tell you about that. Yeah.
Okay. And you said you were here and started 2009?
With football, December.
December,
2009.
okay.
Yep.
So in 2009, when you heard that the football single year of APR was at 868, what were your thoughts about that whole part of the decline in the numbers of APR, and then knowing you have to be part of this? What was your thoughts originally off bat about that?
Well, a lot of that would have been explained with the coaching departure that fall, not having an academic go-to person, that they were in limbo. The person that was here as a counselor was just hired in that summer, so he hadn't even been here that long. The person who was here left, so that it wasn't a surprise. When coaching changes happen, sometimes kids don't do their part, and the numbers reflected that. We lost kids for retention. Eligibility was a mess. We're losing points for eligibility and retention. So that both of those things are pretty bad. That definitely leads to a number below 925.
Mm-hmm. I understand. So do you know why kids were leaving? Why the retention was low as well?
Oh, I mean, either Coach Strong didn't want them on the team. As far as maybe they weren't used to the structure that Coach Strong provided or the intensity of what was happened. Maybe they even left with the coach. I don't know. I can't speak for every person, but when new coaches come around, sometimes kids don't stick around. Maybe they fell out of school. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why there were kids that stayed.
Okay. When the penalties were announced about the 3 scholarships, what was said from the superiors and the football coaches? That was 2011.
Yeah, that I can't speak on. I do know that, because of the hire of myself and the commitment of the staff, that was part of the APR plan to show that, we have a full staff in place. We have hired a learning specialist that works just with football. So I know that that was definitely top driven. You can't hire new staff without the athletic director knowing, the unit supervisor, who would be Marvin Mitchell. Those kind of things don't just happen from the bottom up. So there was a commitment from top down about getting the things in place so APR wouldn't be an issue again.
Okay. So in the APR plan, can you go in depth? Is that something that NCAA instituted, or is that something that University of Louisville? But what is the APR plan?
The APR plan is done by the NCAA. So whenever a school doesn't meet the benchmark, you have to submit an APR improvement plan. So what's going to happen now? Now that you're below the 925, what steps are going to be in place so that you don't have that again? So you submit that to the university, and Justin or the compliance department should have a copy of that, so you can look at it if you need it, if you don't already have it. But it talks about what the university is going to do, what each unit's going to do, how things may or may not be different. Some things might already be in place, and it's just a matter of putting it on there. But it talks about strategies of, if you lost an eligibility point for, I don't know, kids not attending class, so how are you going to fix it? If you lost a retention point because kids are failing out of school or they just transferred, there's many steps to why. So that's something you might need to look at.
Yeah,
you did yes. Yeah, so the APR plan is somewhere you need to look at that, and I can explain that to you more. It's been a while since I've seen one, but there is, if this happened, then how are you going to fix it? This is why we're saying we were below the 925. How are you going to fix it? We didn't have a learning specialist on staff. Hired a learning specialist, And so you have to submit that when you're below that cutoff. When you get hit with penalties, you have to submit that, and the NCAA does that.
Okay. What other sports, do you know any other sports that were struggling academically around this time that needed a plan too?
No, I don't know, but I think we were the only one that had APR issues.
Okay. So with the plan, what strategies did you take to make sure that the students were successful to succeed? Well, now let me follow with that, since you answered that with the plan. Now, since the plan has been implemented, what are your thoughts? How has it been since the plan has been implemented about the APR?
Well, our APR numbers have gone up every year, so the plan worked. And part of the plan that may not even be written in the plan is the culture of the program has changed as well. The structure, the accountability, the penalty phase of kids not doing their part. So that may not be a tangible that's written in the plan, but that has also helped change the APR numbers.
What were key changes that were made in the department that were important?
Well, we talked about staff already. And then the class check, that was in place. And again, I can't speak for what they did before. I don't know, but I would find it hard to believe that one, maybe two people check classes for the whole team. The fact that coaches were checking class, so that was something else that has helped. Again, goes kind of with the culture.
Okay. Okay. Finally, what are your expectations in the future for the program?
Well, the same thing we talked about as the goals. Keeping kids on track to graduate, having kids, all our kids graduate. We have 6 that didn't since, 2010, that year that we all started. Justin started at the same time. That we have 6 that didn't graduate. It'd be nice to have a perfect graduation rate. Everyone that comes in the door graduates. To raise our team GPA is a goal. That it would be nice to be able to win the conference highest GPA for football. Obviously, going to ACC might be a little harder because there's the schools like Duke and Virginia Tech and all those kind of things. But it's still worth competing for. To be the best football team academically in the conference is a good goal. And then still continuing having no one under a 2.0 and have everyone eligible.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.